What's going on, folks? This is HitPointsGaming, our fifth podcast. We're going to be going over E3. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Corey, how you doing?
Excellent. Excited from this last E3.
Awesome. So also make sure you check us out, youtube.com/HitPointsGaming. Also, we're on the Filling the Void Spreaker podcast network, so make sure you check us out there too if you aren't watching this video or listening to this on SoundCloud. So what we're gonna do is go over what we've been up to first. I've been doing a lot of Tekken 7. That is what I've been playing. That game is fantastic. It is a very, very nice departure from Street Fighter. I don't have Virtua Fighter, so this is my 3D fighter fix, and the game is put together really, really well. I actually went to a tournament last Thursday and got third place out of 15 people, and I've only been playing the game for like 2 weeks, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. It was the first time that they held the tournament there at 8 on the break, so not everybody knew about it. So now that everybody knows it's there, the masses are going to come in. The last two guys were clearly pros. They had been doing it for a long time. And besides that, that's really it. Gears of War is still on the table, and Neo is on the table, which I've been playing a little bit of. Not so much. It's hard. It's hard to find the time to do it, but those are really what I've been up to lately. What about you, Chris?
I'm still into Heroes of the Storm.
Okay.
And I'm really excited coming out soon. There's some new updates to it, so that's really going to be really cool. And I've been playing a really old game, not really old, but Lost Planet 3.
That was the more slower, like not as rambunctious one, I think.
I'm 2 hours in. I really enjoyed the first two, so
Okay.
I think I've actually played the third one, but as I'm playing it, I don't think I did, so that's why I'm playing it. I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, those games were super unique in how they kind of played. They kind of almost played like what would be like a PSO style MMO, but shooting and guns,
A little bit, yeah.
And it was cool, but I know I never beat one all the way through. So at some point, I guess I should go back and do it. Corey, what you been up to?
Well, Chris mentioned Hero of the Storm. I have to mention League of Legends has now introduced a questing system, which is pretty nice. Things that I've been looking forward to for a long time. So that's in there, and I've been dabbling with that. On the board game front, we've been playing this game called Near and Far, which is a really sharp storytelling type game. We've put, at this time, one video out, so you can watch Andrea and I play a character campaign, which is pretty nice. And then something new that I've been trying to get into, there's this game called This War of Mine.
Ooh, I have that actually.
Okay, it came out a few years ago, and even on the PlayStation Network a few months ago, there was a free version for people that were subscribed. Yeah, I didn't download it, and I'm kind of kicking myself.
That's the one I got.
Like $30 now. But I got hooked on it, or interested at least, because a board game of it version comes out in 2 months.
Ooh, okay.
I did not kickstart it, because I know it's already out there, but I'm starting to get some interest in it. I'm gonna try the game out and see if I like it. I just hear it's very grueling. Like the board game, it's co-op, but it's a very hard, rough experience. Like Robinson Crusoe, right? Difficult game, but it's fun. This is like difficult, but I guess the setting is very sad and depressing.
Okay.
But
this game is made because some people are going through, like, it's made because of their real life.
Right. So I want to see what it's all about. I'm interested. Any game that comes along that is different, maybe in like an art form like this,
Yeah.
I definitely want to check out. So I'm going to start with the game. I just downloaded it on Steam, and then I'll see what happens when the game comes out in 2 months, if it's worth it to pick it up and give it a shot.
Awesome, man. That sounds like it could be a fantastic board game. They could make, I don't know, have you played it all yet? Like at all?
No,
Okay.
no, I've not. I've just seen a few like what it's about videos.
Okay, so like if you see the way the game is presented on screen, the board game could literally look exactly like it and be so amazing.
Yeah, I know that the map is just like a giant house.
Yeah.
Rooms that you go into.
Yeah,
and,
that's exactly. Yeah,
You know, you got to
that could
get
be so
supplies and food, and for your survivors, and random events happen, and yeah, I guess you're just trying to survive in this war.
Dude, that could be so good. I played that game only for a couple hours. It's a little slow for me. I'm not so much into those kind of games, but I wanted to give it a shot because I know it got really good reviews.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. But from a transition standpoint, which will be another episode, of course, video games and board games. that should be good. That should be fantastic.
It might translate really well to a board game.
Yeah. So I guess that's about it. Let's Corey, you got anything else?
Nope, that's all. I'm good.
Okay. So we're gonna head into E3. Chris, you are going to lead off.
I've got this.
Go for it. Let's go.
All right, so let's start off with Microsoft, because I think they're a good starting point.
Yep. I think they had the first one too.
Yes. So that's another reason. Yeah. Forza. They announced another Forza.
Well, okay. Here's the thing about Forza is that over time, and I think it was around Gran Turismo 5 or 6, Forza just took over.
It's a great game. It looks fantastic.
Forza took over. It's fantastic. So one thing I'm a huge, and this is not entirely on topic, but one thing I'm a huge fan of in video games is a lot of bright colors. I like colors. I hate when games are super gray, like Gears of War. As much as I love Gears, I hate that it's super gray. And it's funny because Gran Turismo is a racing game, but it's not very bright. Everything's kind of gray and ultra realistic, so it's not so fun to look at. And at that point, like Gran Turismo 5, like the cars still didn't have damage when they crashed, and like there was like 40 premium cars that looked really good in next gen, and the rest of them were from the last game.
Yeah.
Forza just took off like crazy and became this amazing game. So I'm not excited for it, but I'm happy that it's still going, I guess.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be more like Project Cars, something that had VR. I mean, VR is now like their big thing, and Microsoft's not really going into that endeavor, but it's a Windows game, so you could do VR on Windows. I was hoping to hear more about it. Maybe it'll come out in the future. I don't know.
Right, and if you can play it on games like the Windows game thing, somebody will no doubt mod it in there.
Yeah.
Somebody will mod it in there. Lots of games have had it done. Project Cars does play good in VR. My game for racing is still Dirt Rally because it's so fast. But what else did you have from Microsoft?
A smaller game, indie game. It's called Deep Rock Galactic. It's kind of like a Helldivers game. Helldivers is like a third-person, like bird's eye kind of. But this is a first-person shooter. It's a 4-player co-op.
Is that the one that looks like really cartoony?
A little, it does, yeah.
It looks
but
cool.
I mean, it looks really cool. Yeah, like you're fighting like monster, like bugs and stuff, and you're like going into like caves, and it's 4 players co-op. That's really what's got my eyes like, whoa, like we've got a lot of friends that play computer games online or console or what, and that's what's really attractive to me is a 4-player co-op, and it's going to be Windows as far as I heard. So
awesome. What else do you need, right? What else do you need?
Exactly.
You just need it to be a 4-player co-op. That's all you need for a game.
Start there.
It looks cool. It looks like a cross between, like you said, Helldivers, but like an Earth Defense Force. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, when I saw that game, I thought it looked really cool.
And going right into like another 4-player co-op, and this game is already on my to purchase list. State of Decay 2.
That game looks awesome, dude.
I never even played
the first one. But when I saw the trailer for that one, it looks really good.
It's you have like it's RPG, so like you're building your character, you're going out and searching for things. And Fortnite was just announced too at E3. Well, not announced, but like it's going to come out soon. But
right.
You build your own base in State of Decay. It's State of Decay 2. Like it's got all this cool stuff in one game. 4-player co-op.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think it ever came out. Was Dead Island 2, right? That never came out. Didn't that go in development hell?
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think it ever came out. The one that looked like super Los Angeles-y compared to the first one. Like the first one was on the resort, And that
came out. That totally came out, I think.
The second one came out? Did it really? Because I feel like I would have got it because I love the first one. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm behind and I missed a great game. But
no, you're not. You're absolutely not. Yeah,
see,
it came out.
It
came out April 25th.
What,
April 2015, I should say.
What, the first one?
Dead Island 2.
Really?
Yeah. You missed out. The first one was great, and then I don't know.
Okay, I can't believe it. Like I just totally missed it. But State of Decay 2, the trailer got my interest really good.
Totally.
So what else you got for us?
Right into this is great. This is another and it's weird because this is kind of my list, but it's all like cooperative games. Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Don't you even shake your head. We're not friends
anymore.
We're not friends anymore. I've been in their mailing list for months and months. I've been trying to get into the beta on Windows. They have yet to invite me, but this looks amazing.
Okay, it doesn't look amazing.
Okay, you're not my friend either.
Wait, no, it looks a lot of fun.
Okay, because it looks like crap.
We need a good, fun game that we can discover things. You know, it's not like, oh, here's a treasure chest and here's a map. We have to solve the riddle. I'm not going to hop online to, like, tweak out my character with the best gear and how I should stat my character out. I'm going to actually live through this as a pirate and try and find these treasures with my friends while I'm drinking a beer and shooting a skeleton with, like,
the game looks so from like watching the gameplay of it, and they spent so much time on that game at E3. They had like a 30-minute. I'm like, what is this? It looked awful.
You're nuts.
It looks awful.
You get your treasure chest, you bring it back to an island, and as you're there, another team with their boat comes, take their treasure. Yeah.
You know what? It could, and when I was watching it with some people here, it looks like it could be really fun. It does.
That's it.
It looks like it could be a fun game, but man, it's like for me, you got to have a balance of, and it's not, when I make purchasing decisions, it's not like this. You got to have a balance of art style or graphics, and that game has got nothing. It looks terrible.
You're nuts.
It looks like an OG Xbox game. That's what that game looks like. It looks terrible. But I could see definitely it being very, very fun if you had people to play with. Especially if you're not, if you aren't confined to a certain amount of players per squad. Yeah. But then that can also cause major problems.
Right. I would like to know more about that. And hopefully it is going to be cross-platform between Xbox and PC.
I don't know, man. Xbox is the one that actually is kind of going forward with it a little bit. It's Sony that's like back in.
You only need to purchase it for once, and then you can use it on either one. So
yeah, it seems like there's got to be a balance there for, like, what if I have, I don't know, 6 teams of 4 all working for the same treasure, but then like only if the treasure's only for 4 people. Only 4 people are gonna get it. Then you have gank squads, which is okay with me. I don't mind that at all. I think it's kind of cool. But
it opens up this whole, like, it's gonna be fun, and that's what an amazing game is to me. Something that my friends and I can play together and have a blast at.
Yeah.
This is up there on my list too.
Agreed.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Unfortunately, it is not even on a list in this household. But if it's great, maybe I'll get it and play with you guys.
There you go.
Totally.
Yeah. What's up next?
We're going from really high Sea of Thieves to something really, really down in the crapper. Crackdown 3.
Oh, man. It's like...
I got to talk about it because the second one was so trash.
You really have to talk about this?
Yes. The first one was so good.
First one was great. Great.
So the first one was great, right? And then the second one was the same. That was the problem. The second game was exactly the same. And they didn't do anything. It looked bad. It looked the same. Played the same. They introduced like the DLC things in order that you had to buy to get like the last level stuff. The thing about Crackdown is this goes along your Sea of Thieves thing where it's really fun though, man. Even in the beginning, like orb hunting, jumping from roof to roof, I find that game to be so much fun. But the problem is that there's no story whatsoever. You're just going from checkpoint to checkpoint. Like, go here, you kill 30, 40 guys. Go here, kill 30, 40 guys. Over and over. And for me, the most fun was probably getting the orbs in the second game. You know what I mean? Because the first game was like, I never played anything like this. That's why it's good.
Right.
And then when you basically reskin it and re-release it, it's like, man, this game really is not where it should be. If you look at other Xbox 360 games, you know what I mean? That game is just not what it should be. And the third one looks the same, man. It looks the same. And they didn't they didn't mention that whole, the city was supposed to be able to get leveled and not come back. That was like their big thing. The game used processing on the cloud, and certain buildings were on certain clouds. And that's how you had building destruction. And when you played multiplayer, the buildings wouldn't come back. So when you're shooting at each other, every single building in the game is fully destructible, and you could just straight collapse it on people. but they didn't show any of that. So I don't know if it's there anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that was their original marketing thing, was like, man, every building, like imagine playing GTA and you can level every single building in the game and they don't come back. You know what I mean? At least for that play, that
Right.
that session. But I don't know if that's there anymore. They didn't even talk about it. And only thing I saw on that whole set for Crackdown 3 was, "Hey, I'm Terry Crews. Here's Crackdown 3."
Yeah.
That was it.
That's what it was. And it's such a shame because the first one was so good. I just, that is my biggest letdown at E3 because the second one was garbage and I was really hoping they would kind of reinvent it because how bad the second one is. But I can't believe they're making a third one the same.
Right. It looks, like I said, it just looks like an early 360 game. It looks bad. So
yeah.
What are you going to do? What's next?
Next up, a really great game, I think 2 years ago, Shadows of War, the sequel to Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This was such an amazing, fantastic game, and it was so different when it first came out. Like it wasn't, you had your Nemesis system, you had the cool Batman combat that everyone really liked. It's very fluid. You had this Nemesis system that was really new, and I don't think that was really maybe used in anywhere else, if at all. And that was really fun. It was cool to have, oh, this guy killed me. I got, he's stronger. Or I was playing my game, and this guy killed my friend Joe. And I was going to avenge his death, so they're just, it looks kind of like very similar to the last game, but they're adding more to it.
Yes, hopefully it's enough, though. I love the first one. I platinumed it. I put a ton of hours into it. But looking at the trailer for this, I'm not really that excited because I already did that. I just hope it's not another rinse and repeat. Yes, they improved the Nemesis system, but to how much of a degree did they do that? So it's not on the highest of my radar. I'll probably grab it down the road, but I don't know. We'll see.
One thing is, I've never actually played it, but it's interesting that you mentioned like that they say they improved the Nemesis system, but then you almost kind of say, well, you didn't tell me how. You know what I mean?
Right.
And looking at the game, it doesn't look better, really.
Right.
It looks the same, but that's not
great.
a bad thing,
it looks
right?
great already, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing necessarily, but you hope that it's not, I guess what Corey's trying to say is like a $60 expansion.
Yes.
You know
yes,
what I mean?
okay.
That's what
hope that it's tough because when you have a sequel to a game, you want it to be so much better, even if it's on the same console. You look at Witcher 1, 2, and 3, it's like holy crap as it goes up. Like each step of the way is crazy. And you look at a game like Mass Effect though, where it got incrementally better, but still better, and it didn't even matter because the game was so good. So this could be like that, as opposed to a game where you get the same exact like what I'm going to use Assassin's Creed here as an example, where you get the same exact look every time. And the game is just really not this. It's not good. I personally don't like them, but those games they don't look good. You know what I mean? Like not anymore anyway. So, you have anything else for Microsoft though?
I've got a few, and it's funny you mentioned Assassin's Creed. We can go into Assassin's Creed. What is it? Origins or?
Yeah, because it looks like crap.
Yeah, I mean it's Egypt.
Yeah.
Egypt's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to go back and see ancient Egypt. That's going to be really cool. But this late in the game's lifespan, do we really need another Assassin's Creed game?
Unfortunately, Assassin's Creed, you just said it. All we look forward to is the location. Oh, cool, this is going to be Egypt. That's going to be sharp to look at. That's it. I don't need to play the game. The story 5 games ago. You know what I mean? It's completely sidetracked. At least that's what I'm told. That's why I haven't played it anymore. I think the last cool concept that they brought in was the fourth one with the whole pirate ships, and that's why the whole pirate battle is now starting to become big because they saw how that took off. But other than that, I don't need to play Assassin's Creed anymore. I think they just overdid it with one every year, and that's really where they lost a lot of players because I was there for the story and I just couldn't keep up doing the same fighting system, the same thing, just to get a little nugget of the story. Yeah. That's the reason why I'm doing it, and it's kind of lost me. And in order to get into a game like that, I'm gonna have to go back and play 5 more of them to catch up. No thanks. I'll just pass.
I personally have not played Assassin's Creed past the first one.
Okay.
And I didn't even beat the first one. I started playing it. I played it for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, why am I not just Altair? Like, I really wish it was just like you have this bloodline of assassins, and you are this guy, and this is your your story in your game. And then maybe they went forward a couple years, and hey, this is your same bloodline, same guy. But this whole like thing that's going into this guy's memories, and I'm like, this just is not for me. The game doesn't play. It was kind of boringish, the first one, which is a shame because I hear the second one was like fantastic, and then
Huge improvement.
The third one was supposed to be like pretty good too. I actually played Brotherhood, but I got it just for the online play, which is very rare for me to do. I almost never do that, but the online sounded so enticing, and it was actually really fun.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But this game, I like the guy's name. His name is Bayek. I think that's a great name. But this game, it doesn't even look good. The combat looks like he's just kind of skating around on the ground, and I'm not happy with it. And I thought what they were going to do was just go like, Altair, Ezio, Bing, 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 present day assassin.
Yeah.
That would be so cool, man, if it got to present day. But I have a feeling that Ubisoft can't even create that at this point. I don't think they could. I mean, well, no, they have like the divisions are pretty open city, but it's not filled with stuff. It's not like, like could Ubisoft make a GTA game where you're an assassin? I don't know. Well, what do they have? They have what's the hacker one?
Watch Dogs,
I guess, right? So
yeah.
I mean, you could technically be an assassin in Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
But I was hoping they were going to go that direction, and they kind of did.
They saw how much of a success they had, and they're like, how can we drag this out, make a game every year, and just kind of rinse and repeat? And
yes.
And they did it, and they made a $1 billion.
Yep.
And the game just like I haven't been enticed by those in a long time, so, and I don't think I ever will. It's not something I plan on going back to. I'll just let that game go by the wayside.
That's right.
What's next, Chris?
2 left. My favorite 2.
Oh.
My favorite 2 games of Microsoft show, okay? And including one of my favorites of all of E3.
Uh-oh.
But first, we'll start with, and I'm going to limit you to 1 minute, Doug, on this because it's a fighting game, and I don't want to hear too much technical stuff. But let me hear it. Let me hear the crowds roar for D.
Oh my God, that game looks like the best game ever.
Yes.
Dude, it looks like the show. It looks like the show. It looks like the show, and it's done by the guys who do Guilty Gear, which they make fantastic games nowadays. So I plan on dropping everything to play Dragon Ball when it comes out.
Okay, good.
Like without a doubt, I plan on dropping every other. Well, but I really like Tekken now, but like Street Fighter won't be playing that. I won't be playing the new Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm playing Dragon Ball. It looks crazy. I think it looks really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dragon Ball. We all are aware of Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball universe, the people in it. Like, this just sounds awesome. And I haven't played fighting games in a long time. I might pick this up just to play fun. I'm not going to be anywhere near competitive, but I think it'd be really fun to play.
Well, I'll make you competitive.
Yeah, because, the past 5-6 Dragon Ball games have all been the same. You play the first one and that was it. This totally looks, like you said, during the trailer, I'm like, oh, wow, am I watching the actual show?
Yeah, for real.
This is the actual game. Wow.
Yeah, it looks insane, and a lot of people who have played it in the fighting game community say so far it plays great. It plays like a simple, it's not going to have the depth of Guilty Gear because it is. They are definitely you're going to see what we're going to call a lot of 18ers, basically 2009ers were the people who started at Street Fighter 4. So now the 18ers are going to be the people who start here because it's going to bring in droves of new players to play in this game, which is a great thing. And I think, dude, I think it looks fantastic. I cannot wait for that game.
Yeah, I watched a gameplay of it. They had a couple people who had just started playing for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and they said they played fighting games before, but they weren't, competitive with it. And they were throwing out some really cool moves, some combos, not like 40-hit combos, but like a 15-hit, right. And it seemed really smooth. I don't have any idea what the combat system, how you play actually, but like it looked like they were having fun. They were able to do stuff beside light punch, medium punch, Right. So it looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks cool. What's next? What do you got?
My Microsoft game of E3, Anthem.
Oh, that's everybody's game. It has to be, man. It has to be everybody's game.
Yes.
I mean, have they ever made a bad game?
Who? BioWare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Andromeda.
Oh,
Well, this is probably why they
Andromeda.
spent a lot of the resources on making it.
Yo, like I feel like this is what Mass Effect should have looked like. It should have looked like Anthem.
This just hands down, this is my favorite game of E3. It just looks like you take Destiny, of course, that's what they're comparing it to, and drop in like Exo Squad.
Yes.
Right. I've got a suit that can jump around. I can customize it however I like, depending on the mission. Depending if we need like a tank or a quick person, I don't care. It looks fun. Drop in, drop out, co-op. And a BioWare story. Destiny was lacking a BioWare story.
Right.
It
A
might
story.
change it for Destiny 2. Okay, but you know what? Because you faltered, I stopped playing the game, and I will definitely try Anthem first. Like that's above Destiny 2 for me.
That game, when I saw it, man, and I'm like, okay, here's a game with mech suits. They're kind of getting in them. I'm like, all right, this looks okay. And as soon as she jumped off, I was like, oh my god, this could be the coolest game ever. I'm looking forward to it. I am a major giant robot mech suit dude from Robot Alchemic Drive, all those Armored Core games. Like, I will always be into that kind of stuff. And that game looks like a godsend. One thing I noticed was I'm really hoping the game is not too tight, man. Like, there's just looks like you kind of go down a tiny path and then you get to like an area to kill stuff, and then they did it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
I'm hoping it's a little bit more open as far as, I mean, it doesn't need to be, but like I would like it to where we can maybe all go out on different areas and converge on a thing in the middle. You know what I mean? So
yes.
Yeah.
But that game for me is definitely game of the show so far, like without a doubt. Chris, you have anything else?
Because it is cooperative. Yeah, just because it is cooperative,
4-player
I
too,
want
4-player.
I want it to be hard. I don't want it to be like everyone just go and shoot stuff. So that's where you're saying if we just go in this room, we go to another room. Yeah. I want to be able to spread out a little bit.
Well, a good example of that was how tough some of the stuff in the Division was, man. But it was so cool when we beat it.
Worked so well.
So cool when we beat it. Once we actually, and that was like, there was a turning point for us playing that game, was getting to that first like survival thing where we were just going through missions like it was nothing. Then we got there and we had to sit there and think about why we were losing every time, and we figured it out. And that kind of where the meta of the game went at that point, which we never did too much dark zoning. So doing like squad versus squad, battles. But for the most part, like we had to grind that thing until we got it. And I'm hoping that game has at least some of that in there. I think the Division actually maybe got a little too far for me. I like more twitch shooting than strategy. But Anthem, I hope they deliver on that game so bad. I really do.
That's it for me. That's all my Microsoft. What about you guys?
So Microsoft, for me personally, there was a couple things that I saw that I really wanted, that I really am excited for. There's a game called The Last Night, night as in time of day, not like swords. And it's like a pixel. It's totally retro looking pixel kind of game, but it looks like Flashback. You remember Flashback?
Yes, yes, like in Genesis.
Right. It looks like Flashback mixed with like Fifth Element. So you have like this pixel art in the foreground, and then the background is all actual real-time lighting that goes through it. It looks so fantastic. So I have no idea what it's about, but it looks great. So I'm hoping that even if it's point and click, like that's something I'm going to play just to look at. Next for me was Cuphead has a date.
Finally,
Cuphead
they've only been talking about this game forever. And not this PAX, but the PAX before we got to play it. I don't know if you guys went to the Microsoft booth. It was there, and I got to play it, and it's great. It looks great. It plays great. One thing that really sucks is in 2017 it doesn't have online co-op, like multiplayer, which is like totally like I can't think of the word, but it's just such a huge disappointment, man. Like how is that not a thing? Especially after you developed it for this long. Yeah. But maybe that's why they have a date now, because they couldn't figure it out and they want to put the game out. Then after that was The Artful Escape got its time on the big stage. And I like how somebody put it. They said it's not a music game, it's a game for musicians. That's kind of how somebody just
just described it. No date, but I'm happy that it was there. I'm not familiar with too much Annapurna Games stuff. I think that's their publisher. But like I said, I was just happy to see it there. Corey, you have anything for Microsoft?
Nope. Nah, I do not need to play Simon game, so I know we already talked about that. You let me know how that one is.
Yeah, I most definitely will. All right, Chris. Who's next? We're doing Sony?
Sony. Right to Sony.
Let's go.
We're going to start off with their, one of their big games, a new Uncharted.
Right.
We're not going to see Nathan Drake, it doesn't look like. It looks like we're going to have 2 female characters, which looks really good. Really fun. Like, I watched the first, 20, 25 minutes of it. They had, a gameplay they announced. And, the way that the 2 characters interact with each other and they talk, the dialogue, it looks fun. It looks good. Just, I don't know. It looks more arcadey than a regular Uncharted game. They're just kind of rolling and shooting and rolling. I just want to stop and slow down and kind of enjoy it. Uncharted, I always felt like I can enjoy the environments. And there's a little bit of combat. And, I really felt like Indiana Jones. I don't know about this one.
Let me ask a question, because I guess I tuned in when they were going through this. And to me, it just looked like Uncharted 4 DLC. So you're telling me this is a brand new game?
Brand new.
It's a side game, though. It's not Uncharted 5. It's not. It is definitely a side. It even has a specific title. It is a brand new game, but it is like a side note game for sure.
Okay, so the only thing that scares me with that is, although that this wasn't a side game, but look what happened with Resident Evil 5, right? They were doing great. Resident Evil 4 was amazing, and then they came out with Resident Evil 5 that was a little bit more arcadey. And what you just said, being able to roll around, and that kind of ruined Resident Evil at that point.
Yeah.
They're coming back now, but hopefully they don't, Uncharted's a really good formula. Let's take that name and change it a little bit. No, please don't do that.
Okay.
Can improve it, but don't change it just to kind of have a side story.
Well, I mean, it's funny you didn't mention Resident Evil 6, which was a travesty in video games. It was basically Gears of War with wrestler moves. That's what that
sorry.
counts.
4 and 5 were great.
4 and 5 were great.
6 is what I'm talking about.
Well, even
that
5 though.
Travesty.
5 still was faster paced, but it was co-op and it was great.
Yes, agreed.
6 was just a it was a
6
travesty.
is what I was talking about. Yeah.
It was really bad. I have yet to play an Uncharted. I have yet to play them, and I have a PlayStation. It's just a game that I really need time to sit down, and I refuse to start from a further one out.
They're a little dated now.
Yeah, but even with the remaster, as long as it doesn't when I played The Witcher 2, it was dated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me so much. I want to play them because I feel like I'm missing out so bad.
You are. They are a very good series.
Good. So at some point I'll definitely jump into those, but right now I'm just not ready.
Days Gone, another zombie game. Because we need this.
I'll start. No, we do not need this. It looks good. Awesome. Horde mode of zombies, amazing. But guess what? I'm either going to be playing the Xbox one we just talked about.
Anthem.
No, the zombie one.
It's the State of Decay.
Yeah, State of Decay. Okay, I'm more interested in State of Decay than Uncharted with zombies.
Fair enough. I was watching. I remember the first Days Gone trailer that they released was like, oh my god. But I'm not a zombie guy, man. There's a couple zombie games that I like. I thought Dead Island did it great. For the most part, I don't like the mindless enemy things. I never got into Call of Duty zombie mode. Never ever got into it at all. So I don't need another game. But this game looked great because of their World War Z style.
Yes, they're not just brainless, just walking around. Yeah,
it's just a swarm. So I didn't see the full gameplay thing from E3, so I can't comment that much. But from the looks of State of Decay, it looks a little bit more RPG-ish, strategy-ish. I'm probably gonna play that too.
Yeah, give me Last of Us 2 over Days Gone.
Yeah.
That's where I would spend my time if I had to pick. Definitely Last of Us.
Right. What about you, Chris? What do you think of?
I don't think we need this. I don't think we need this in another game like this.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But you know what we need more of?
Yes.
Spider-Man games.
Yes.
I can't
wait. It looks great.
It does.
It looks so good. I mean, who knows when they release the last good Spider-Man game? But that new game looks crazy. It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Back on the Dreamcast, that was the last Spider-Man game that was good. Yeah.
Yeah,
this looks
Genesis.
great. Oh, I mean, the combat looks really good. Like he's Spider-Man. Like the few dialogue, the few like lines you can hear that he says. You know, like Spider-Man's kind of like this witty, smart aleck kind of guy.
Right.
And the combat looks really good. He's swinging around everywhere. It looks good. I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks fantastic actually.
Fast-paced, constantly shooting with his webs. You know, saving people's lives but beating them up at the same time. And
right.
Just like a typical Spider-Man, it looks really good.
I feel like it raises the bar for superhero games because we haven't had a great superhero game. And the Arkham games were good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Besides that, like we didn't get a good Superman.
Superman 64.
Oh my god!
And like the formula's there. Batman has the formula.
Yeah,
Other genres have used it, like we said with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Just take another superhero and copy paste.
Yeah.
Hey, good. They finally did with Spider-Man. Perfect. I'm happy.
And it fits. It fits really well with him. And the game looks nice. Like I said, again, looks bright, looks colorful. I think that game's gonna be fantastic. So I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good. And this next one, I'm a big Spider-Man guy, but Corey was really talking about this game called Detroit. Now you're like a cyborg, or what is it? You're an android. And it's really sci-fi. I love sci-fi stories. So it's like you're this android, the cyborg, and you're supposed to be like a slave, like a housekeeper or whatever. And they're kind of starting to revolt against that. Very cool story. It reminds me a lot of like Heavy Rain, the way that you're kind of you really make a lot of decisions. It's like it seems like the game slows down really slow, and it's like, okay, would you like to run away from this situation? Do you want to go into this situation aggressive? Do you want to run to the side? Like, how do you want to proceed? Reminding me that of Heavy Rain, but I'm not sure so much if it was just like the game trailer that they're showing you, or was it real gameplay? I don't know, but it looks interesting.
When they first announced this game, I was head over heels. Again, all your aspects because of Heavy Rain. When they showed it at E3 and the story started to get flushed out, I became less interested. Okay, because here's another Android story, right? We've been down that road before. We've seen that rebellion in TV shows, in movies, and personally, it felt more of like, because of our political atmosphere right now, here's a game where you can either rebel or it just felt weird to me. I'm still interested in it, but the story kind of turned me off. It's not something unique now.
Okay. That makes sense. I don't know anything about this game, so I can't really comment it at all. So, but if that's the case, it's interesting that seeing a story could turn you off of a game. That's not normally how it goes if it's something you're excited for. But that's a shame if that's the case.
Yeah, if it's like Heavy Rain where you're making decisions and you're playing a little bit of story, a little bit of gameplay, but really heavy on the story, it could be cool. Like Heavy Rain really worked because it was really story driven, and you were making choices. What do you want to do?
Right.
That could be really cool here. But like Corey's saying, is it going to be so much different?
Right, and you always have that factor in Heavy Rain, like, my character can die.
Yeah.
And it will change the story. This is more, I think you're more of like leading a rebellion. I don't know if you can die, but your actions change the story. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, multiple endings, great, but now I don't have that fear factor of me dying. I don't know.
Well, you can only even present that in a game where you are seeing things from multiple points of view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if there is a main character, like what you would consider a main guy, then there's a chance that he's definitely not going to be able to just die and go to the next thing. And it's not something you see in a lot of games. Like, imagine if you were playing GTA 5 and fucking Franklin could just die in the middle. Like, that would be crazy. But that doesn't mean it won't be good, though. You know what I mean? It could still be good.
Right.
God of War. A new God of War.
We need it. We
do.
We need it bad.
We need these
last
to
one
keep
was
coming
just
out.
okay. The last one was just okay. Wasn't great.
Wait, which one?
The last one that came out, like the co-op one, the prequel-ish kind of.
Oh, the one that I didn't even touch. Good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just okay.
But 3,
Oh,
was one of the
fantastic.
best. Yeah.
See, and it's funny. I thought 2 was the best. 3, what got me is that there wasn't enough boss fights. So like you fought, the best part was the beginning with Gaia and Poseidon, right? And then you fight Hades, which is one of the best boss fights I've ever played, with the chains coming. And then after that, when you got to what you would consider a boss, you just walked up to him, and there was a kill animation, like the guy with the sun. You know, he's like walking towards him like this with his hand out, blocking the sun. You walk up to him and he dies. Like you chased him and then he died. Next guy, same thing. He's running around you real fast, and you just have to catch him. So I thought it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad at all, but I'm excited for one regardless, because Kratos is probably the most badass mother of all video games. That's how I feel about him, for sure.
I think it's going to be cool. He has a son. It could be some interesting dynamics and story and combat. So it's got a lot of room to grow, or a lot of room to work with, you know?
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
And Destiny 2. I'm not my game of show, but it is definitely a game I'm buying day one, and that's really rare for me because I'm so cheap. But Destiny 2, I'm really excited about it because it's going to be on PC, and I don't own consoles.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The PC date has not been
Later.
It's a month after consoles
Okay.
because they want to, quote unquote, get it right. I read an interview today on Kotaku that they were talking about it, and they're saying the devs are talking to them that they want to make it right. They're going to have to change the way like the mouse speed works, the accuracy using mouse and keyboard as opposed to a controller. So they're actually taking these things into effect of, okay, when you use a controller and you have recoil, it just shakes your hand, you deal with it. But how do you have recoil on a mouse? Like they actually have to go and use different strategies on how they're going to make this up and work PC.
But in that case, why aren't you doing that right now? Like,
Right.
Why do you need the month in between?
Who knows?
You know what I'm saying? So,
I'll take it. I don't even
Right.
care. Bring it out next year. I'll take it.
Destiny 2 for me, like I played the first. So Destiny, I was probably the most excited for, right? Destiny 1 came out. I played the demo. I couldn't believe how amazing the game was, right? Played a ton of it. Then you get to that first raid and you're like, this raid is almost a game in itself. Mm-hmm. It completely had its own rules. Nothing that you had learned throughout your gameplay experiences prepared you for what you had to go through. And the puzzles you had to figure out, the way you had to kill the bosses, it was insane how tough it was. And I thought that was probably one of the most fantastic bits of video gaming I have ever played in my life with a group of people going through Destiny's first raid. Then you do that, and you get your gear, and then you walk around levels, and you look for treasure boxes for hours on end. Random spawns. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm done doing strikes. I'm done doing the dailies. I got tired of it. Never got Taken King. Never got any of that stuff. And I know that's when I think Taken King's when it was supposed to flip around and be good again. But I was like, you know what, man? I'm kind of done. I'm playing other stuff. I would love to get into Destiny again. I would love to play it at 60 frames per second on my computer. That's for sure.
Because it's not going to be 60 frames on console. They've already said that. It's only for PC.
I should have mentioned it during the Xbox conversation, but we'll talk about it later about the Xbox One X and how no thanks. But yeah, I'm excited. I don't want to say I'm excited for it, but I'm hoping it's great. That's what I feel about Destiny 2. What about you, Corey? I know you played a lot of Destiny, right?
Yeah, I played it. And again, I didn't play Taken King. Like, have it. I bought it. But then it was just like, do I really want to go back to it? Do I want to go back to that grind? It runs into that whole, that MMO issue. You beat the end game, and then what do? There's got to be a way that end game keeps coming out, but it doesn't sacrifice all the gear that you had. And I heard that they have corrected this in Destiny, but it's just, okay, I kind of was just waiting for Destiny 2 to kind of jumpstart it. So here's our chance now. It's do I get it on PC? Do I get it on PS4? I'm not sure.
And again, they're pandering in PS4 with the exclusive stuff again.
Right.
So it sucks that I think you have like an exclusive strike for a year. Like a year is mad long, man. It's a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's also what someone said why Xbox One X's version runs at 30 frames is because, they're trying to keep it with PS4, which I think is complete, horse poop. But I hope it's great.
Yeah, I'm an MMO player. We're kind of all big MMO players, and I'm excited to actually have a great first-person shooter in MMO.
Yeah,
because I have yet to find one.
The thing about Destiny 1 was it was supposed to be this huge thing, but really the game was very small. It was just tight. There was 3 levels, but each checkpoint counted as a different area. Mm-hmm. And when I'm on these speeder bikes, which was a great addition, I still couldn't go within 10 feet of a wall as I'm riding them. I'm like, man, I want to just ride over the dunes. Like I want to drive, man, but it was just not what they marketed it as at all. Still ended up being great, for a long time.
Zero story.
You talked to that speaker guy with the cool face like one time, and then that was it. And at the end, that girl hands you a gun. That was your story. Yeah. That was Destiny. What's next, Mr. Chris?
My this is it. This is my game of show, and I hope it's. Come on, man! Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
Is it Monster Hunter?
It up. It's Monster Hunter World. It's going to be on PC. That's all I've got to say. It looks fantastic.
It's going to be on PC?
It's on PC. That's why it's.
Oh my God!
You changing your tune, right? Yes, I know you are.
I wanted to. It was going to be my favorite thing. Anyway.
It's going to be on PC. It's Monster Hunter with a whole lot more. You have environments that you can destroy, you can interact with, you can get the different monsters to interact with each other. It looks fantastic. They released a Japanese language, 25 minutes of gameplay. You have to watch it. It's fantastic. Moving on.
I can't move on yet. I want that game to be so good because I'm a big Monster Hunter fan.
The game is great.
So one thing is that it looks really actiony. I'm praying that they didn't get rid of some of the slower pacedness.
They did.
And
they're making it so you don't have to paintball the monster and find them. But it works because it's you no longer have 5 screens. You have a world to track this monster.
Yeah.
So you kind of scrape off their saliva, and then fire bugs lead you to where the monster is. So it still works, but it makes it quicker for an online community where you can then have 3 other people or how many other people play together with. Because you have a world to find them, not just a couple screens,
I thought it was great on 3DS. I played multiple iterations of it. I had it on PSP. I didn't have the original PS2 version, but I think Monster Hunter games are great. I hope the bow is back. I love playing with the bow.
It is.
But I'm hoping that game is fantastic. It's interesting I didn't see that on the Switch because Switch is the greatest. Switch, as much as I will bash it every single day, is probably the greatest platform for Monster Hunter. It really is. You can bring it with you just like you used to, or you can play it at home. There it is. But no, man, they just... Who knows, man? Video game, E3 is crazy to me, and E3 is usually just a ton of lies. So I don't know, man. I think developers are weird. How did that not happen? Switch will probably have its own Monster Hunter at some point.
It does. Yeah.
So
that's it for my Sony.
They're not going to get the good one.
One thing I want to add to Sony, a game that I was really excited about. I think we all are, but do I need it again?
Oh, Shadow Colossus. I don't need that again.
Because they just did an HD remake however many years ago. So what is this again? A HD remake 2?
No, this is what I like to call the re-release. But that HD one was it was HD in 3D, right? Mm-hmm. This is a remaster, so all the textures and all that crap's being done from the ground up, and sure, it looks good. I was hoping it was like Shadow Colossus 2 when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And then it was just the same game, and I'm like, yo, I recognize that guy, man. I'm not buying this again. I'm not,
I guess it's... So here's the thing, because I think I talked about this to somebody else. And their point was, well, to people that haven't played it before...
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go back and play the PS2.
Go back and play it.
You can't. Play the PS3 version. They're not backwards compatible.
Play the PS3 version then.
Get a PS2.
Download off the store.
Or mod something to play it. Or you've got your HD remake.
Yeah. Download off the store. If you can probably find that, and it came with Eco too, so you get 2 games.
Right.
Yeah.
Go get it for $10 and play it. That's it.
Shadow of the Colossus is one of my top 5 games of all time. Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic game. But I agree with you guys. I don't need it again. Does it really need to be remade?
It's becoming Skyrim, Shadow of Skyrim. That's it.
Well, they're remaking Final Fantasy, and everyone's going crazy. Final Fantasy VII. I can't wait to play that again. Well, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, but that's different.
That's very different.
Oh, you guys are nuts.
No, and hold on a second.
That's
if they made a
I don't
Final
want it,
Fantasy
by the way.
HD remake, I would have played that because they haven't made that yet, and we all wanted one for many years. Now this 7 is completely different, so your argument is completely out the window.
Final
It's
Fantasy
not
VII's
the-
remake is completely different gameplay, completely different look.
Unlike Colossus.
Right, it's the
Okay.
same. It's the same game. But
Right.
either way, I'm not excited for Final Fantasy VII. You know, if they made a Final Fantasy VIII remake, then maybe.
Okay, moving on.
Moving
Nintendo.
on.
Nintendo. You guys are done with Sony?
I'm
You guys
done
are
with
good with
Sony.
Sony? All right, good. Nintendo, let's make this real quick because they have crap. They're going to make a Pokemon game. Yay.
Hooray.
Two, right? And I think we're getting 2 different Pokemon games.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about them. They're just going to make it. That's what they
Well,
said. Hey,
no,
we're making a
it's gonna
game.
It's going to be your standard level up, go and find, catch Pokemon.
Which could be great on the Switch. Good.
Which is great.
I
This is what we wanted on the Wii.
on the 64.
On the 64, you're right. Instead, I got to take pictures, and I had to be happy with that.
Yep.
You know? But cool, I'm interested. And I kind of like Nintendo's point of view where, hey, we're not going to show you anything coming out. You know, we're going to show you what's coming out like this year. Because they have their own treehouse things. And I can accept that. But they didn't really show much.
Nope. Kirby. You guys want to play Kirby?
Well, here's another one, Metroid 4. Everyone's going ape crazy over this game, but that's all they said. We're making it.
You know what?
And everyone loves it. You'll love it. You'll buy the Switch. It'll never even come out on the Switch, and you'll still buy it because you'll be like, it's going to come out.
No. That is a thing where I will buy the Switch and that console the same day, just like I did for Smash and Wii U, just like I did for Smash and the Wii, just like I did for PS4 and Bloodborne. Like, I will buy it that day when it comes out. There's nothing else that I feel like I need on the Switch. And yeah, it's great. It's coming out, but it's like good.
Okay.
I can't say I'm not excited that I'm going to get that game. Like, I want it bad. And there's the other Metroid 2 on 3DS, the remake of 2, which is what we needed a long time ago. I actually have a totally fan-made Metroid 2 remake, and it used all like the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance sprites and stuff. They added like the Super Nintendo style map to it, which is what that game desperately needed. Great, but then Nintendo, issued their cease and desist, so now you can't download that anymore. I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Right.
They basically tried to throw
They're
it out.
cracking down on all of them. Nintendo's cracking down on a lot of that stuff.
They've been doing that for a while too, but at least we're getting an official one for people who never played Metroid 2, because I know I can't sit through it on Game Boy, man. It is slow, sluggish. The camera is zoomed in even more than like Sonic the Hedgehog, so you really don't know where you are. It's tough, but I'm happy it's there. Again, don't really care, but I'm happy it's there. Happy it's there.
And how about a Paper Mario that's got Yoshi skinned over Mario? So this new Yoshi game is just Paper Mario, but the Yoshi. This looks like garbage.
Cool. It looks
Yeah, because Paper Mario is awesome, but it's all they did is reskinned Mario into a dinosaur.
It's like Yoshi's Island. I just liked playing as Yoshi and throwing eggs.
Yeah, Yoshi Island was good. I mean, it looks co-op. It's co-op too, right? Looks cool.
I think so.
But again, I'm just like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Kirby game.
Yeah, I don't think I would buy those because I'm waiting for the game you are going to mention on Nintendo, which does look good.
Kirby. You're going to play Kirby?
Keep going.
How about, okay, I know what you're going to go to, but I'm going to stop. And I think my favorite game for Nintendo, and it kind of crazy enough, it's made by Ubisoft, hashtag Ubisoft guy who cried, Mario plus Rabbids.
No, man.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
I'm gonna walk right out this room.
With cool Mario characters. It looks really interesting.
No, thanks.
Can we move on, please?
Okay, that's it for Nintendo because nothing else. No, they have Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Okay. Take the name, take the hat out of the picture. I don't care. It could be cool. I'm not going to bash it yet.
Right.
It looks like a Mario 64 upgrade. Yes, that's what I want. Mario 3D World was cool. The side scrollers are cool, but I'm over that. Give me something new. Give me my Mario 64. This is exactly what it is. I'm happy.
Mario 3D World I thought was excellent. It was like a side scroller slash. It was a slash 3D one, and I thought they did a good job. I never really got into the new SMBs, like just the straight side scrollers. Those games are just. I really don't want to sound like an elitist, but they're just too easy for me, man. It's like I walk through them like they're nothing.
That whole bubble system.
Yeah. I walk.
That's horrible.
So, although I haven't played Galaxy, I know Matt's favorite game. Like he played both Galaxies, got like 100% on them. Those are he loves them. Mario Odyssey looks to be absolutely fantastic. It looks crazy, like crazy good, and all the different environments that they have. The way he's transforming into stuff with his hat, using his hat to jump on. I think it looks, and it's something. It's interesting too because it's been how long has it been? He never really used his hat, you know what I mean? And they decided to still make it fresh. They made it fresh, so I think that game looks like it's going to be like a wonderful Mario game from start to finish.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what Mario is, right?
Yeah.
You have fun. They're wonderful. You know, people can bash the whole hat thing, but you're right. It's unique, and this is they're bringing life to something that he's always had.
And it's a staple.
Right?
It's a staple to him.
Yeah.
So,
pretty sharp.
I think it looks great.
And it looks cool, like the different characters that you turn into. Like the art looks really nice. Like you said, it was a really good observation of you to say it's something he's always had his hat, but they've never done anything with it. So it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
To give him like a Kirby style power, which is kind of cool. You know, but instead of you becoming it, like instead of you, you know, you actually go in, like your soul goes into the thing and become it. So I think it looks cool, man. I think it looks really great.
You guys good with Nintendo? Because I mean, that's really all they showed. They showed a few more, but this is like, you know, the killer stuff.
Yeah, I think that's it for me, man.
Yes, agreed.
All right, just a few like really quick ones. Beyond Good and Evil, obviously, this is huge. I didn't play the first one. I did watch a playthrough of the first one after this was announced because it's such big news, but I still don't understand what's the big news about Beyond Good and Evil.
Yes, Doug, can you answer that question? Because I missed the Beyond Good and Evil boat too.
You know what, man? It was a game that when it came out, you know, back when we had magazines, not so much internet videos to look at. I remember seeing it and being like, I don't want this. Like just from looking at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those games where I looked at it and I'm like, I really don't want this. And even over time, over years and years and years and reading and hearing people talk about how great it was, I never went and played it. So I have no idea. And mind you, the game looks crazy different.
Oh, completely.
Which isn't bad too. You know, it could be all like I think it's cool that they didn't necessarily stick with the art style because like this is what you want them to look like now. But I don't know, man. I can't answer that question. I know it's supposed to be fantastic, so I'm hoping this one is too, I guess.
So let me throw this out there to any of our listeners who is not a complete fanboy of the game, who has played the game. Can you let us know, A, what we're missing, and B, should we play this?
Right.
Here are three people that obviously you know that we played games almost our entire lives, and none of us have played this game that everyone's going crazy about. Right? That's very odd.
I would love to hear people's opinions.
Yeah, let us know your opinions.
For sure.
Another one, which is really cool sounding, A Way Out. It's like a prison break game. It's cooperative, but it's only going to be couch co-op.
No, not true.
Oh, no, that's right. They said they built it for couch co-op, but it's going to be online, but it's really made for couch.
Because even when you play online, it's still split screen.
Okay.
That's what's badass. So when you play online, it's still split screen, and sometimes, depending on what character's doing what, one guy's screen will get smaller, and it'll focus on the other guy on screen. I think that game could be a wonderful co-op experience.
Right.
Like, super, super amazing. Playing a game co-op automatically goes up a notch anyway. Even if the game...
Absolutely.
You could have a game that sucks so bad that you'd never play by yourself. If you play it co-op, bam, you will at least play through it. Just like Ghost Recon Wildlands. But
what about Army of Two?
Fantastic game.
Game
Fantastic.
sucks so
Horrible
bad.
game.
It's a horrible game, but you play it with your friend, and it's like, yeah, I will play through this, and we had like a decent time together.
Give me a boost. No, that game was great.
It sucks so bad. So I'm hoping that a game that focuses this hard on it doesn't drop the ball. That's how I feel.
And my last thing, it's not a game, it's more of it's another conference. The Digital Devolver had a media conference.
I forgot to watch it.
Now, it's only 15 minutes long, and it's a great homage to the Adult Swim infomercials that they play at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Not really interesting in any way to video games, but it was pretty funny. I really dug it. It's kind of like knocking on all the other people, like, we're doing pre-releases. You can play the game before the developer even makes it. It just was really funny. It was something I think you should check out if you're into that, especially if you're into like the Adult Swim infomercials. The Digital Devolver Media Conference at E3 or whatever.
Did they announce anything substantial?
No, they didn't announce anything. It was 15 minutes
no.
of like a skit. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was,
wow,
it was
okay.
amazing.
Okay, because they make good. I mean, they throw out good stuff.
Oh, they have
all the
some
time.
great games. They have some crap ones, but they have some really good games too.
Yeah. So they, I wouldn't, I would hope that they announced something cool, but if they didn't, whatever. That's cool.
They announced them at E3, but not during this 15-minute, thing. But yeah.
Fair enough.
You guys got anything from the show that we didn't talk about?
Corey?
Do we even need to talk about the new Xbox
Yes.
One?
No.
Yes, it's
Go buy a
important.
computer.
It's important. It's important to talk about.
Okay.
So, Xbox One X, right? So you're watching it, and me personally, I was watching it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm excited for it, right? Or, I'm sorry, I'm not excited for it now. I'm excited for it as I'm watching it, okay? Because you are hoping that the gap will be bridged, right? You're hoping so bad the gap will be bridged between PC and a console. Sony came out too fast with their Pro. They really did. It doesn't. If I'm, I think Corey, you have one, right?
I do.
It doesn't play 4K Blu-rays, right? It doesn't.
Correct.
Okay. That's crazy. But the Xbox One does, but that's not something I necessarily care about. It's got like they said liquid cooling, which is apparently false. It's like some kind of gas, some like a liquid gas cooling thing in there. Sounds like this really powerful, awesome console. Great. It runs Forza at 4K 60 frames. That's major for a console to run anything at 4K. But it's like, that's the only one so far. You're watching it, and every game that you see on their press conference has like enhanced for Xbox One X. Enhanced for Xbox One X. The very next day, you hear Destiny is 30 frames per second on it.
Right.
Okay. And then the same day, you hear that Assassin's Creed Origins is not native 4K on it. It's upscaled. So it's like, okay, I have no reason to buy this thing. It's officially off the table. If they told me that Destiny was going to be 60 frames on it, I might have bought it. If Assassin's Creed, I don't care about, but other games, like imagine if Anthem came out with 60 frames on it, it'd be great. 60 frames is the divide. It's not 4K. I don't understand how this 4K thing is appealing in the eyes of your average gamer. I don't get it. I don't want a 4K slideshow. I want a 1080p, smooth, great-looking game. You know what I mean? If you're looking at 4K games, I mean, most PCs can't run games at max at 4K. Most.
Right.
I don't even know. You would have to build one. You would have to get like an alpha version of the next graphics card to run the Division at 4K and 60 frames. So I don't understand what this infatuation is. And I think it's mostly because of the TVs. Because TVs don't have frame rates in their advertising, right? You don't see a TV. Well, I guess the Hertz kind of, but whatever.
Yeah, a little bit.
So for the most part, though, it's like, man, I'm just being constantly let down by these consoles these days, where like I keep getting the crappier versions of games, and it's starting to get aggravating. So, as bad as it sounds, Tekken 7 only runs at 720p on an Xbox One, not even 900p on a PS4, 1080p on PS4 Pro, and of course whatever you want on PC. But I respect the fact that even on Xbox One, it only runs at 720p, whatever. They did what they had to do to make the game 60 frames. There's no reason why consoles can't have an option in their options menu to say, I want to run 1080p 60 versus, 4K 30.
Right,
because
right.
Tomb Raider did it already on PS4 Pro, right? I think.
Yep.
So that would, if I was guaranteed at least most games would have that option in there. It'd be like, I want to run it at a lower resolution, even 720p or 900p. 900p 60 frames on the new Destiny, or 1080p 4K 30. That'd be great. But it's not there, man. It's cool. One thing we didn't mention was the OG Xbox backwards compatibility.
Cool.
Which to me is really cool, depending on how many games that they put in there. That could be awesome. But besides that, man, I'm just not impressed with the Xbox One X. If I was gonna go out and get a new, like, if I didn't have one, me being the type of guy that I am, I would totally get that one. Like, I want the best one. You know what I mean? I want the best one. You're not gonna go to the store and be like, I'm gonna get the worst version of an Xbox One if you don't have one. It doesn't even make sense. So, again, man, I'm just not, like, between the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, I'm just not impressed with what they have to offer. And mind you, I've even seen so far, I've seen like the PS4 Pro difference, and it's substantial when you see the HDR 4K stuff. But again, to me, that's not what I want. I want a 60 frames per second game, because I think that's what makes them good. That's what makes the biggest difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the Xbone X. I don't know about you guys if you saw it, but just
I have nothing to add for that system.
Yeah,
let me just throw this last question out there. How did you guys feel on E3 overall compared to, let's say, the last few years? Like, was it a good show for you?
If I had to choose, I would say it was a pretty exciting show, man. It was an exciting show for me because I saw games that weren't just sequels all the time.
Yes.
Okay, I saw a lot of new games that I thought looked cool, looked great. I feel like the past couple of years have been a lot of sequels and a lot of lies as far as, I mean, and like I said, for me, E3 is going downhill just because of, even from in the past. I don't know if you guys remember what during the Xbox 360 era, when they first announced Xbox Live Marketplace, and what it was really supposed to be that people forget about was you were supposed to be able to go on there, create your own brand, sell your own clothing styles and stuff for real money in games like Tony Hawk, and sell your designs for cars and like graffiti and all that kind of stuff. And it just ended up being an eShop, right? And then came Project Natal, which was the coolest thing. I don't care like what people think about it now, like Connect sucks, whatever. When you saw Project Natal for the first time, you felt it in your stomach. Oh my goodness, this is the most insane thing ever. Because at the time, you didn't necessarily think they couldn't pull it off. Right. And it's only over time that you realize that stuff will never actually happen. Which is another reason why I'm impressed with like a lot of the VR stuff, because that stuff is for real. Like, it's in your house. It's for real. Mm-hmm. So, E3 this year I thought was good, because I got to see lots of new games. And I didn't see like any super crazy ideas that may not happen.
Right.
I didn't see some crazy piece of technology or like some new addition to something that that may or may not be true. Some games aren't gonna look as good when they come out. Anthem, it's not gonna look as good. But for the most part, that was a good show, man. I thought that they shoved Mixer down into my stomach the entire time. Like during the Xbox conference, Mixer just all the way force feeding me Mixer. But besides that, I thought it was good. That was good. Chris, what do you feel about it?
It was good because there's a bunch of new games coming on PC.
Yeah.
It's now really interesting. Microsoft's going to be doing a lot more Windows stuff. For me, it was a good show because it's got a couple of games that I'm really interested in: Destiny 2, Monster Hunter. So, yeah, I thought it was a moderately good show.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Corey?
Piggyback really on what you said, Doug. There are a handful of new games that I'm excited about, right? But the sequels that were announced are sequels that we needed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, all the past few years, again, they're just rinse and repeating games. Of course you're gonna have that Call of Duty, whatever. We didn't even talk about that, but like
not that show. This is not that show.
Right, like the Metroid, like the God of War. Those are the sequels that we want, right? Mm. So that's okay. But besides that, the 5-6 new games, I'm glad. So I thought it was a very good E3.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I wasn't watching it and being disappointed the entire time. So that was cool. I do wish that the Xbox One X was a better piece of hardware, but they really can't with that cost. I think in order for you to have a cost that is okay for your average console guy, you're never gonna get like super hardware out of a console, which stinks, but it is what it is. You know, there's a market for it. I play on my Xbox every day, so I'm not even like a PC elitist guy. Like,
sorry, yeah, I use my Xbox every day. It holds up my books on my bookshelf.
So, I play, whether it's Gears, I'm playing like, you know, random games that I could play anywhere else. Like I'm playing Enter the Gungeon now, but my Xbox is always on. We use it for all our Netflix and stuff. PS4, I'm playing games with Matt all the time. So I am totally a console guy too, but when it comes to, you know, and that's gonna be my divide when Destiny comes out, which I'm probably gonna play with you guys. I really am on PC, but for the most part, it's a divide, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks that I have to choose who I want to play this game with. I wanted to get Ghost Recon on PC. I knew you guys weren't gonna play it. Nobody's gonna play it, so I got to play with Matt, and it ended up being a good choice. But again, it's just, man, it's tough. And the same thing with For Honor. I actually bought that twice because the PC version is so good. I bought it priced, but it only cost me $70 between buying both of them. So, I mean, that's like almost a 2-for-1. So, and also, Chris, you mentioned that they're showing PC stuff. I feel like E3 is mostly console oriented.
Yes. Yeah. So it's really interesting. It's starting to get really exciting for me.
Now that I think about it, E3 has been totally console oriented for as long as I can think of, and then you would hope those games have PC ports.
PC. Yeah.
Now it's like, you know, we're doing both. Games coming out on both. So I think it's cool, man. You guys have anything else to talk about?
That's it.
That's it for you guys? All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and close it out, man. I hope you folks enjoyed our look at E3 2017. We did our absolute best here to go over some of the finer points and things that we think you should look out for and our personal favorites. And we will see you guys next time. Corey, I believe we're going to be talking about board games to video games. That is a other way around, sorry. Video games to board games.
Yes.
And I guess we can do vice versa too if that ever happened. But I think that would be really cool. You know, I actually had Pac-Man and Donkey Kong board games back then, so but I think that's going to be a great conversation because there's a lot of dynamic things that go on in that case. So
perfect,
folks, take it easy. All you folks listening to us on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and we are out of here. Take it easy.